Nadina. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you. What about you?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm always good, but today it's super special because the sun is shining. So we are in our office, which is our garden office, and delighted that you've been able to join us today. And where are you coming from today, Nadina?
From, from London.
From
Where,
London. And
yeah,
I think the sun is shining with you as well. I've seen the temperatures are going to be great.
yes, the past week has been really good, so can't complain.
Yeah, well, let's fingers crossed for a lovely weekend. So, thank you for taking time out to join us today and to join Trailblazers Uncut, which is where I get to speak to some fabulous female founders like yourself. And we talk about business, we talk about how it started, no fluff, all the types of things that people will want to know, the real stuff about what goes on behind business and all those challenges. So, before we get into the questions, would you like to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Nadina, and I'm the co-founder and CTO at Milky Plant. We're a clean kitchen tech business. And yeah,
Great
that's
stuff.
briefly about me. Thank you for
So we're
having me,
gonna.
by the way.
Oh no, we appreciate because we know how busy you are. So thank you. So let's start with the origin of the business. So what inspired you to create Milky Plant, and how did your personal health journey shape the business?
So a few years back, I was diagnosed with high cholesterol, and me and my partner Michael, who is also the co-founder of the business, decided to make some lifestyle changes. So we actually switched to a more plant-based diet. And one of the products that we replaced and we used to consume a lot was dairy milk. So we switched to store-bought plant milk. And after going for my follow-up appointment with my doctor, we kind of went through like one by one products that I've swapped, my diet, my lifestyle changes, and everything. And we stopped at the topic of plant-based milk, and she advised me that, look, plant-based milk is quite easy to make at home. All you need is water and raw ingredients. And the one that you can buy from the store actually contains a lot of preservatives, emulsifiers, gums that also, and seed oils, which also increase inflammation in the bodies and are linked to certain health conditions. So she was like, just to do better, try and make it at home. So going back, me and Michael, we tried doing that. And being a couple that doesn't particularly enjoy cooking and cleaning after that, we realized that it was such a messy process. And it was requiring so much dedication and time. So we decided, you know what, like, let's find the device that we can buy. And so we use it at home. And upon researching the market, we couldn't find a device that does everything. So from mixing, blending to filtering, because as you know, after blending the plant milk, you need to pass it through a cheesecloth or nut bag to filter it, which is actually the messiest process. And if there was a machine that did the straining, it was so bulky and so difficult to clean. Like there were a lot of parts. And we were like, you know what? There must be a better way. So like we came up with the concept of creating a plant milk maker that does everything. So it blends the right ratio of water and raw ingredients. It filters the final milk from the pulp. And in addition, it also self-cleans. So it makes the whole process super easy, and it's all within 3 minutes. So that's how we started, basically.
I think you just got me there at self cleans.
Exactly. That was such an important point for us because, you know, all the traditional machines like juicers, for example, they have so many parts and it's so difficult to always clean it.
So really you came up with solutions to people's pain, i.e., for me, if I was thinking about should I make a smoothie or whatever, it's like how long is it going to take me? And then how much time am I going to have to spend cleaning up afterwards? So you've really addressed people's pain points there, haven't you, that might stop them from doing it in the first place.
Yes, exactly. And also, I think the main thing is that you actually have the raw ingredients. So you have full control of the ingredients that go into your plant milk. So there's nothing prepackaged or anything. So, like, you want almond milk, you use the organic almonds that you want. Or, like, if you want it a bit sweeter, you can add a date or some vanilla. So, like, it's everything is in your control. So that was also very important for us.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah, because it is the time as well. It's like, to make all these things. That sounds amazing. Well done, you. I already want one now. You've told me how it's going to benefit me.
I'll send you one.
Need to try it out in the shoppies because we
Yeah.
actually do use almond milk in our coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do buy it. So yeah, I'm definitely converting now. Because I am very much a fan of trying to reduce the amount of stuff that I buy that has been processed.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it does sound fabulous. So well done. You saw a niche and you went for it. But launching a product is one thing, but building a hardware brand is the next level. So what were the biggest challenges that you faced when it came to manufacturing and getting Milky Plant to the market? Because you had the idea, it's like creating it and then selling it is another thing.
I think we kind of one of the biggest challenges is that we underestimated the amount of time it takes to actually build a hardware product. So, like, starting first from the concept, then sort, because we built everything completely from scratch. So the entire technology, the machine, the tooling, everything. So first we came up with a concept, then we went on into sourcing every single part, like motors, pumps, etc. Then we went into building the tooling of the machine. Then we went into testing and iterating, because it's one thing when you have the concept and the prototype is working, it's different that the prototype actually needs to be fully functioning and compliant with all the certifications and everything. And that took us very long. So all the iterations that we had to do after that. So the biggest challenge was I would say, being a bit naive at the start, and then the fact that things were slower. And in our particular case was also COVID, because we couldn't go to our factory and actually do all these changes there in person. Everything was done via emails and video calls and meetings, and it took a lot longer. So, yeah.
I don't think it's about by being naive. I think that's pretty normal when people start a business. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah, you learn as you go.
We all learn as we go along. Nobody gives you a book and says this is how you're going to do it. If that happened, everybody would be doing it. But so time-wise, what sort of length was that from start to finish of that process of getting the idea, getting it designed, and getting that out?
So we've done everything in like slightly less than a year, to be honest. And I think the main reason, just to give you a backstory, is because we launched on pre-orders. So we kind of already gathered the pre-orders. So we were forced to work around the clock and like actually push for it to be done as fast as possible. So from the moment we decided that, okay, you know what, we are going to pursue this idea, it took us around 11 months to actually deliver the product to the first batch of customers, which at that time was 250 people. That was like the first batch that we did. And if I'm being completely honest, the machine was quite bad at the time. Like it was good at the start, but as it went, like people were using it, we started discovering the issues that we didn't predict. And we had to go back, do again some changes, improvements, and then we replaced everyone's machine, and then was like the final product that we managed to scale.
That's really good, though, that you recognize recognize the issues in long term of the use, and that you gave a new machine to your customers, and they must have been very happy with that service, because some people would just go tough.
I think we still have some of the customers that actually received that first few machines that weren't very good. They're still loyal to the brand and buy like new products, and we actually have direct communication with them, and it's really nice. You feel a different sort of motivation and support when you have this small community.
No, but it sounds like you've had customer service right from the very beginning at the heart of what you were doing. So that's really good. And that will stand you in good stead. Like you said, you've still got customers reordering. So you've grown rapidly, and already ship globally. So what have you learned about importing, exporting, and scaling an e-commerce business with sustainability at its heart?
So I think the reason why we scaled globally was actually because, as I mentioned, we launched on pre-orders. So what we did is we didn't know which market will be best for us. So we allowed this function of people being able to order from everywhere. And we realized that our three core markets are UK, US, and EU. So when actually going into mass production, we decided to just go simultaneously on all three, since there is demand and we are an e-commerce brand. What we did in terms of import and export, we have 3 fulfillment points, which are all under, used to be, now we changed a bit, but they used to be under the same company. So it was a bit easier. So we have shipping partner in US, UK, and EU in order to prevent customers from having to pay import taxes. Because as we know, if we ship from the UK to EU, people have to pay taxes, and same goes to the US. So from the get-go, we just partnered with this company that has around 4 points of shipping, and we picked 3 of them, and that's how we do.
Great stuff. So when your first orders came through, has there been a change? Have you seen a change in distribution since you started?
Yes. So like I would say that at the beginning it was mainly US and UK. But after a while, EU actually picked up. So I would say at the moment, it is 40% UK, 40% EU, and around 20% US. Even though at the beginning it was kind of 40% UK, 40% US, and 20% EU. So yeah, that was a bit of a change.
So while all of this was going on, though, as well, you also had another arrival of your own, didn't you?
Yes, did. Our little one.
And so I think your baby's 9 months old now.
Yes, correct. 9 months.
So how have you managed the juggle and the struggle of running a business and then also motherhood?
Well, if I'm being honest, I think I'm still learning every day. I don't think I have like, this, everyone is talking about like, oh, you need to learn to balance, like have a plan, have a schedule. But in reality, what I've learned with both having a business and a baby is that you just need to learn to be okay with a bit of chaos. And maybe it's just my personal experience, but like on certain days, the baby will need you more, and you have to prioritize that. And on other days, it's the business that might require more of your attention. So I think mothers just need to try and be more patient and lenient towards themselves. Sometimes we feel always guilty, like if we're a little bit on the phone while being with the baby, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Always try to do your best. But one thing that I've also learned is that it's all a marathon, both business and having a baby. It's not a sprint. So sometimes you'll have to slow down and focus on one or the other. And I'm really grateful as well because I have the opportunity to actually work from home, and my partner does the same thing, and we both work from home. So we managed to like um, schedule a little bit things and help each other out in this sense, and cover for each other, like take over certain bits and bobs. And also we do have grandmas sometimes that come and help, which is and occasional help overall. So I think all of this makes the experience of being a mom and having a business more realistic. I must say that after having a baby, I have such a great sense of admiration towards single moms that also like manage to work or run a business. It's just like it's wow for me, and I think they're one of my top heroes that I admire are single moms that also manage to work. It's not easy, to be honest.
No, I know. Obviously, we work with so many women. We hear it all the time. So, but it's good to have that support network around you, isn't
Yes,
it, to help with the mother-in-laws and things.
yes, I'm extremely grateful, and I feel like very, very privileged for my experience, to be honest. So that's why like sometimes I can't even complain because uh, I'm really grateful.
Yeah. So sustainability is central to Milky Plant. How do you make sure your values stay embedded in the product and the supply chain as you're scaling?
I think from the get-go, you just need to go for companies that or like manufacturers that have the same values as you. So you don't have to fight for everything or explain everything. And this definitely facilitates everything. So like from the moment we pick with whom we're going to work, we actually um, like check what's their ethos and how they like treat sustainability as a whole within their corporation.
Yeah, because it is really important, isn't it, that
Yeah.
whoever you're working with shares the same values. And it does give you reassurance to your customer as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
So innovation is fast moving. I know whenever I bought a kitchen appliance like an air fryer or whatever, and I bought one and it says it does 11 things, and then 2 months later, one's coming out saying this one does 13 different things, and I'm like, oh, I've already got FOMO. I need the
Yeah.
new one. So how difficult is it to keep up with an ever-changing and developing environment with the products?
I think it's with hardware, sometimes it can be a bit more tricky because, as I mentioned, the time that it takes to develop a new
Mm.
product is quite long. But because we are on the smaller side, we actually managed to gather the feedback from the customer and already work in advance on improving that. So, for example, we're soon like we've already launched the pre-orders and will be already in stock in May for our new version of the Milky Plant. So we've taken all the feedback from the customers and we implemented all those changes in a new device. So, for example, version 2, it's going to be much faster, much quieter. It will have a lot more functions. So you can make also hot milk and cold milk and different quantities and better cleaning functions and degerming and sanitizing functions. So I how we stay afloat is just quickly gathering the feedback from the customers, having these surveys, like email surveys in place. So after purchasing, usually you would get a survey within a month where you would state all the things you like, all the things you don't like about the product. And we try and work and think about things 1 year in advance. So we already are starting our planning for 2026, 2027 in terms of like product launch, because yeah, you need time.
I so love the fact though that you um actively seek the feedback and address those issues. You know, it does show that you're very customer focused. And sometimes I think when I speak to people about feedback, if they get a negative feedback, they take it personally. I'm like, this is feedback about how we can improve. So it's great to hear that you take it that way and make improvements. It's just going to keep your customers happier in the long way, in the long term, isn't it?
Yes, so I think you also need to like filter, because you have certain, for example, complaints that maybe aren't very realistic, but most of the negative feedback, or even those negative reviews, is actually an advice for you to improve and do better. So you need to actually learn to be grateful for both.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love the fact you're grateful for that. So being a young female founder in a traditionally male-dominated tech sort of manufacturing space must come with some added pressure. So how do you stay resilient and focused? Do you have any examples of things that have been challenging in that environment?
To be honest, well, yeah, there are quite a few, especially because I'm more in the product development side. And I think usually when it comes to the technical side of things, it's more male dominated than any other industries. And working predominantly like with companies in Far East Asia, sometimes the communication is a little bit like they would still ask, oh, can we speak to the like big boss, for example? Like that's a phrase they sometimes use, and they refer that to my partner Michael, for example, when it comes to like the final decision making or things like that. But I think over time, once you establish the relationship, it starts getting better. And I think one thing that motivated me is that the belief in the idea, and obviously having no choice but doing that. You know, you gotta pay bills, you gotta succeed, and that's a motivating factor to just push through it all. And again, speaking about being grateful, I know that now it's getting still easier for women. It's not the best, but when I think about female entrepreneurs, or like women in the workspace around like even 50 years ago, the challenges they had to face were tremendous. So I'm grateful for the way they paved for us, because it is better than the stories you hear before. And hopefully our generation is doing their small impact for the future generation of women. So yeah.
And you're absolutely right there. And that's why these conversations are so important, because for me, I'm always thinking about the women, the girls coming up from behind us. And when they hear your story, Nadina, that's going to give them drive to think that anything is possible, and for them to just, power forward with things. So congratulations to you, because you are absolutely inspiring the next generation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So when we're talking about the next generation of entrepreneurs coming up, what advice would you give them?
So I'm more pro practical advice. So what I've learned from my personal experience, especially like in the e-commerce industry, is try and sell your prototype first. And that's an advice that I give to people that ask me, how should I start? So just get first a prototype version of any product that you want, create the website, advertise it a little bit, and see the interest that you get from people. So maybe have like a notify me list where people can add their email or so, and see if people actually want your product, or maybe you'll receive some valuable feedback. Because at times, yes, we might think that we have the best idea ever and we believe in it, but the market has a different view. So instead of going and investing a lot of funds into big stock or like inventory or straight into production, just get first the prototype, try and sell it, see what's the feedback, how you can improve it, and then launch on pre-orders. so it's easier financially for you. And only after that, go into production, get inventory, and start growing. I know we have this social media culture where it says like go in, like in or nothing in a way, but the real life is that you need to take it sometimes slower, learn, and then go all in, just to be safer, because you don't want to end up in a difficult situation at some point, which is you can't get out of. So to all the young entrepreneur, have a little bit of patience, start slow, first prove your concept, sell your prototype, and then go to market. That's what we did with Milky Plant, and I think that's what minimized sort of our failure and risk.
Yeah, no, that's very, very solid advice. Thank you so much, Nadina.
Thank you.
So fabulous catching up with you today. So thank you for taking the time to join us for Trailblazers Uncut, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.